Guys, I'll be talking about spaghetti western. I think these two movies are from the late last generation of spaghetti western movies. I think the last one I ever reviewed was Jonathan of the Bears back in the days. I think that came out like in '89 or the early '90s. But these two came out like in the late '80s, and these are like called the I always call them like the late generation, like the of spaghetti western movies. So they used to be like mad popular back in the '50s, '60s, '70s, and like around the '80s. Then I think Jonathan of the Bears was like pretty much the last spaghetti western, I think. These two are Bruno Manti's movies. One is called The Scalps, and one is called Apache Kid. Pretty much, I think they were like back to back in the same year. I would call this maybe like a first one. This was probably like a part two of the movie, in my opinion. But it's just I'm just talking because you pretty much may see the same actors in these two movies, especially the villain, the Colonel, which I liked his character. I'll talk about sorry, camera mix. Apache Kid first. This was never out on DVD. This is a VHS transfer to DVD. Pretty good cover, pretty good print on the DVD. What they did on it, you know. They are both pretty much the American dubbed English version of the movie, and I'm not sure if the Italian version or the original, if it's uncut or if it's edited out. So sometimes Western spaghetti Western movies are usually edited out in the U.S. version, you know. So I'm not sure. Definitely, I love the soundtrack for both movies, but as for Apache Kid, love the soundtrack. The movie starts out with this white kid running to this old man, and he's gonna tell us a story about this young Indian boy, a white kid, when the origin of his mom and a couple of the settlers died during a bandit attack. I know the guy's mom was about to be dead, so the Indians killed the bandits. They took the woman in the village. She was pregnant, and of course, she gave birth to a white man, a white kid. It was a white woman anyway, but she died during the birth. And the white kid she gave birth to, the Indians decided to raise the kid in the village, and he was like the second son of the chief. Both boys grew up. The Indian son, the original, his real blood, and the white kid both grow up. They're having fun. They joke with each other. They're both brothers, pretty much. Like the white man was adopted into the Indian village. And anyway, they were having fun. They both like the same Indian woman. There was it was just like mostly like a fun like they show you like the backstory how he was raised in the village and he's all grown up and you know anyway, the brother got jealous. He's trying to kill his white brother, and by accident the brother killed his Indian brother, and the Indian villagers they want him out the village, so his white son have to go get out the village and go to the civilized world with the white man, with the town, and he started getting a job as a horse wrangler, like, and then but the town he was in, they don't like Indians, so they want to massacre all the Indian villages, or anything that's Indian, and they start doing that. They massacre the Indian village, like an Indian town. They massacre, disrespect the women, and killing kids, women, men, killing everybody in the village. The Apache Kid himself found out that this Indian village was massacred by these white men in the town he was in, and he was like pretty much don't want to go get revenge on these guys, and then because spaghetti was kind of hard for me to explain, but anyway, the man started being on the Apache Kid. They let him on the desert to die from the sun, similar to Conan the Barbarian when when the soldiers wanted him to die from the sun, and the Indian man came across the Apache Kid and saved him, and then he went back to the village where he grew up, saved the woman that he loved, and now one of the gang members that massacred the Indian village and worked for the town. He decided he wanted his revenge, go after the Apache Kid and his woman. You got your really sad ending in this movie because they start beating up on the woman, they kill her. Apache Kid got mad, and then he started killing the leader of the gang, and he died on the fall, but he did kill the leader, and only left was alive was pretty much the Apache Kid and his woman's baby, which was found by Sinbul, who was the old friend of the villain and the one who did the commentary did the narration for this movie, and he decided to raise the kid in the village, which you see in the beginning of the story when the kid was running. The syllabus are saying, "I'm gonna tell you the story of Apache Kid." So that little baby grew up a little bit to be like a little bit like a older kid, like maybe like 8 years old probably, and that was your ending. Action scenes was good. To be honest with you, the soundtrack was good. I liked the acting. I mean, even though it was dubbed, but the ending was just disappointing. It was just sad, to see Apache Kid died and his woman died, which you don't want to see. You want to see a happy ending, but hey, that's the Wild West for you, man. You gotta get your fucked up moments. Um, Next movie, we're gonna talk about Scalps. Of course, another dubbed English version from the Italian movie. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not sure if the Italian version or the American dub version is edited or not. I'm not sure if it's the same. So anyway, I hope it is, because I hate tracking down original versions. It's so hard and so expensive to get, but I take what I could. Scalps, to me, this movie was really good. I really did enjoy it. It's about the colonel. He has the Confederate Army. It was over. This is one of those Western movies. The Confederate, this captain for the Confederate Army, the colonel didn't want to let the past go, so he's hiding out in this Texas fort. He owns like he sent his men to the Indian village to get this Indian princess that he's obsessed with, and then the Confederate soldiers start killing the Indian villages, disrespecting the women, of course. What else? This type of movie, killing everything in his path. The Indian woman got captured. She was able to escape. She came across this house with this rancher. He took care of her, and the Confederate soldier guy, the colonel, wanted to send his men to track this Indian woman down because he was really obsessed with her. He really wanted her. And the colonel's he's just crazy. The colonel's wild, man. He's just funny in this movie. Even though this is a dubbed English version, by the way, I still enjoy it. The rancher decided to take care of the Indian lady. He defeated the Indian man who was a tracker for the Confederate Army to go after the girl. He killed him, and the soldiers went away, and the soldiers decided to come back with a bigger army to capture the Indian woman. The Indian woman ended up finding out that the rancher that's taking care of her used to be a Confederate Army member, especially under the colonel's rule, but he quit that lifestyle. He didn't want to be part of that. So anyway, while the colonel sent 3 men to watch the ranch, the Indian woman and the rancher escaped behind the back, so they'd be on the run, and they ended up killing up the soldiers. And meanwhile, you got the colonel found out that they escaped the ranch. They didn't see them, so they decided to go after them around the mountains. And while the Indian woman and the rancher start firing them off one by one and trying to defend themselves to survive. And then the Indian woman was on the run while the rancher was captured by the Confederate soldiers. He was tortured. He had these 2 hooks in his breast, his nipples, breast, like with 2 rows being pulled. It was like a gore you seen, kind of like, it was like, damn. And then the Indian woman started killing these Confederate soldiers like Rambo style, even have a dynamite and a bow and arrow, and one by one. And when the Confederate soldier guy decided to let the guy live so he could lead the Indian woman to him and try and capture her, just like that, like bait. The Confederate soldier guy took the rancher to the fort, and then that's where the Indian woman started shooting the soldiers. The Confederate soldier's wife gave the captured rancher a gun to shoot these soldiers out, and the colonel killed his wife. He gave him the twist ending about his daughter, how she really died, because the colonel's daughter was married to the rancher in the past, and the daughter died. It was like mentioning the story how his daughter died, but she really died from Indians. It was really her father that killed his own daughter, and the rancher got mad and started scalping him as for revenge. I mean, this movie was good too. Apache Kid you will enjoy, even though it was a sad ending to it. Scalps will definitely enjoy. I definitely love the music soundtrack on it. Action wise was good. It was decent for a spaghetti western movie. Not the best, but it was enjoyable at least. I'd like to know if the Italian version and the American double version, if it was the same thing or if anything was cut out. You guys let me know. But check these 2 movies out if you could. I got these 2 movies on eBay. It's a pretty good transfer for what it was. Anyway, that's my review of Apache Kid and Scalps, the Indian